Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
You were supposed to bring death to the flagships, not join them.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Every time I say it, it's going to suck even more.
May I present to you the cat?
I am Medela. I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing.
Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landon.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Woo! It's award season.
Yay.
Everybody's watching award shows.
And guess what? We have one.
Yay!
We have our own rewards because, you know, everyone rigs their own rewards, so we're going to rig ours. How's that?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, no, totally fair and unbiased, and definitely not just based on our opinions in the moment and anything like that.
You know, listener, if you want an opinion on the awards show, maybe join our Slack by joining,
Oh, hey.
you know, what's that
Yeah.
thing called? Patreon. That's what it's called.
Patreon.
Did you have an issue there? Oh, freak. Jeez.
This show started great.
Yep.
Yeah, we started
Nailed it.
great. But you know what? Before we get to the reward show, Landon really wants to talk about something.
Do I
Landon,
know?
You want to talk about this because, you know, you're on this platform here, and it's Google News, so go ahead, because there may be more people that need to know this information.
Well, if you don't already know this information, you don't need to know about it, but I'm going to tell you anyways. YouTube TV is a great product that Google lets people pay for, and I've been using it almost since the very beginning. I've been using it since it was $34.99 a month because that was a phenomenal price for what it was, and then it's just gone up.
You had that before you moved.
I've had it for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I said, almost since the beginning of YouTube TV. I was like probably only about 6 months into it was when I started using it, if not quicker than that. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the price has gone up and up and up, and now it's done that again, unfortunately. It's gone up. It was at $73.99 or $72.99. It was $73 a month. And that happened about a year and a half ago or so. And they just sent out a bunch of emails informing customers that it is going to be going up again to $83.99. And that's really, really annoying. It's now more than double the price of what it originally was when it first launched. And that's really, really dumb.
Yes.
Now, I will...
agree.
I gotta read this tweet that YouTube TV put out that actually Wes brought up to my attention because I hadn't actually seen it yet. But yeah. I find it really interesting. So this is what YouTube TV said in their tweet. It says, "A message for our members. We have always worked to offer the content you love with features to enjoy the best of live TV. To keep up with rising content costs, we're updating our monthly price to $82.99 a month." Oh, that's what not $83, $82.99 a month. And that's annoying. But there's a little bit of added context. As it says on Twitter, readers added context. This is what people have, added to this to make sure it's like, no, actually, this is what's happened. So YouTube TV has now doubled in price over the last 5 years. The last price increase was in April 2023 at $72.99 from $64.99, a 12% increase. For reference, it launched at a cost of $34.99 per month in 2017. The total increase calculating at over 137%, or 137%, that's adjusted for inflation as well. That's
a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It was like YouTube TV was there to be the thing to get you away from cable. Now it costs as much as cable, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, I will say, I was paying about this much for cable, for satellite is what I had before. I am getting more channels than what I was getting with satellite, and more of the channels that I want, but I'm now, again, paying what I was paying before, which is one of the reasons I went away from satellite and cable, because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And I could watch
And
it anywhere on my phone, which, again, still is nice. That they are correct that the features that they provide are really nice. But, man, I really hate that the price just keeps going up and up and up. Freaking Google.
I wonder how much DirecTV would have gone up, because you had that before.
Yes.
And it's hard to say because, well, I guess they would have raised the price on you. You wouldn't have been grandfathered in, but I wonder what DirecTV would have been with the same stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
But who knows? I didn't look it up. I'm just curious.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to be keeping this because it is still the best option that I've found for what I want. But it just really sucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to be paying more. Ugh, freaking Google.
Understandable. No one likes paying more. Speaking of having to pay more, we have awards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just throwing it out there. We could put that as the worst transition. Worst transition of the year. We should do something like that, like
worst
segment transition
segue of the year.
Yeah, like how that's the. We could do that.
There's too many. There's too many. We'd never be able to keep track of them.
I don't know. There's some really good ones though that we've done.
Like we're already struggling to keep track of the worst tech names of the year. Come on,
dude. Well, let's get into it. Listener, we are now here for the Calling All Platforms Award Show.
Yay!
I didn't have any music or anything, but neither did Landon. But Landon, give me something. What you got on the soundboard? Yahoo!
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Why did I do that? All right.
That was what I was expecting, though. Let's be honest.
Okay. So, worst tech name of the year is the category. Let's go through here because there's quite a bit. Let's just say this was a bad year. Holy buckets. But man, we got a lot of contenders here. Let's take a look. NVIDIA RTX 4070 Ti Super. Holy cow.
Pick one suffix, you idiots.
Yeah. Google, quotations, photomoji. Oh my goodness.
That was a real one too. They used that one.
They used it. Yep. Energizer hard case P28K.
That's the name of a phone. That's a phone.
What is that?
The Pixel 9 Pro Fold.
Again, pick a suffix.
You know, after hearing some of these other names, Pixel 9 Pro Fold isn't actually the worst one anymore.
It could be much worse. Well, and it gets much worse. That's why it didn't win.
Because what we do, listeners, we actually add them as we go through the year. So it could get worse as we keep going. And it does. So let's keep going here. The Ultra Retina XDR.
Gosh dang it, Apple.
Apple Pencil Pro.
What makes it Ultra and Extreme also? Don't know. Don't ask.
Start menu companions. Oh, that hurts my brain. Imogen. That's what it was.
I still don't know exactly how Google wants this to be pronounced.
IMAGEN. Imogen.
I've always said Imogen because it's supposed to be like it's their generative AI thing that makes images.
Wait, I have an idea. You should have their AI say it back to you.
Hey, how do you pronounce this? I should.
Yeah, how do you pronounce this? Speaking of terrible AI, Copilot plus PCs. Dang. We also have Genmoji.
Oh, gosh.
We have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy.
That one came out right at the beginning of the year too.
Yeah,
it did.
it did.
It was nice and early.
We did have one on there, but we actually crossed it out and took it away. Called the quick button.
Yep.
And
And
there's a
we'll get
reason
into
for that,
why
and
that's
we will
been
get
crossed
into
out later, but
Yep.
yep.
So we crossed that one out, but I went ahead and said it. Next, Google TV streamer.
Also known as the person watching streaming content on a Google TV. Wait, no. Wait. Despite the fact that that's what that is describing.
And then, last but not least, Sony PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, also abbreviated as SPSSSR. It is not fun to say either way.
No.
It doesn't sound that cool. I wouldn't put that on a jacket. Nothing. Like, it is terrible.
And Sony insists that it's just PSSR, but no, I'm sorry, PlayStation is PS. You put Spectral in between PS and SR. It's PSSSR. Freaking
It is. Yes. And for that reason, we have made this one the winner. The Sony PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, also known as the SPSSSR,
Yep.
is the winner of the worst tech name of the year.
Congratulations, Sony.
Of course, it had to come from Sony because
It's true.
every product they give a name to is just the worst.
I mean, but usually the PlayStations are exempt from that, right? You had the PlayStation and the PlayStation Slim, and then the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 2
I mean, you're not
Slim,
wrong.
and the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5. Well, Xbox is sitting over here going, yeah, Xbox 360, One, S? I don't know.
X
Like-
series.
Yep. You're not wrong. Yeah, PlayStation wanted to one up it. That's all. They're like, here, hold my beer. And my acid and my cocaine.
Yeah.
Let me do this. I got this.
They looked at the headphone department and went, hey, we got you.
Yeah, the headphone. We need something from you.
Uh,
All right. I'm going to go ahead and pass the hosting over to Caleb, and he'll get the next category.
Yes, this category was so difficult, listener. The worst keynote of the year. And in fact, we had a single nominee for this category because it was that bad. All right. And to be clear, the contents of the keynote itself are not what I'm going to be up in arms about for literally the rest of time. It's the fact that It's Glow Time is the worst name for an event that you could possibly have when that event has nothing to do with either showtime or glowing.
yeah.
Just neither of those things were related to this event. Where did It's Glow Time come from? Nobody has any idea. Nobody is doing the same drugs as what they're doing at Apple. And I just can't. Yeah, it was bad. It's bad. It's just bad.
Yep.
So it wins just by default of being the most obviously terrible keynote of the year. Like there were some boring keynotes, there were some lackluster keynotes, but none of them were so egregiously horrible for us to actually write them down on this list as we went, aside from It's Glow Time. So
Yeah.
good job, Apple.
You got it.
We're gonna mail you your award. It's actually just a bag of cat litter, used cat litter.
Oh.
Used by multiple cats.
Give it to your marketing department.
All right. Now moving on to the worst platform of the year, listener. And you might think this could go to a lot of different things, and it potentially could, but we did narrow it down to just a few. One of which was Jabra Audio, and that's mostly because they announced a couple pairs of brand new earbuds and headphones that are all really, really great products, and then a week later say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna stop. We're gonna go out of business. Basically, we're going bankrupt. We're not making any
Timing,
money.
guys. Timing.
But here, buy our product, even though we're not gonna support it for more than a year or two." Freaking Jabra. They didn't win. Another one was Sonos, who did not not as bad as Jabra, but the fact that they released new headphones that you have to download a very specific app to use, and then that app also basically makes any other Sonos product that you previously had just not work anymore.
Yeah.
That's fun. Good job, Sonos, on that one.
It's been bad.
Also,
Bravo.
still somehow did not win this award. The next one on the list is just HP printers. And we put that on there after having our, rather heated discussion about HP printers a few weeks ago. But we decided that one couldn't win Worst Platform of the Year because that's more of a Lifetime Achievement Award. That's, it didn't just happen this year. That's been for a while.
Yep.
But we definitely want to nominate it.
Oh, it had to be there. This might
just stay on the list. Yeah.
We might have to rename this award to the HP printer worst platform of the year,
Yep.
Ooh, I like it.
But that brings
Gotta get
us
that recognition.
Yes. But that brings us to our actual winner of the HP printer worst platform of the year, and that is Apple Intelligence. Because I mean it's kind of self-explanatory. The fact that that's the only ad you will ever see for an iPhone 16 is about Apple Intelligence. Can you use anything that they showed off in that ad? No, you can't, because it's not there yet.
They just barely launched a few features, some of the minor ones, some of the more useless ones.
Yeah.
And they have now out in beta some of the ones that you might actually use as we're just about to, fly into 2025.
Yeah.
So
And
good job with that Apple Intelligence launch, Apple. You done good.
And the only feature of Apple Intelligence that anybody actually wants is a better Siri that's not coming until the spring.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe it's coming in the spring. That's just what rumored it's coming in the spring.
Yeah, might just never happen. Let's be honest.
Siri is just helpless at this point. We're going to kill her off and give us something else. Who knows?
She's going to go hang out with Cortana for a minute.
Oh.
Oh, poor Siri.
I don't know. Poor Cortana. Can you imagine only having Siri for conversation?
Oh, jeez.
I feel bad for Cortana in that
I was like,
circumstance.
no, you go over there.
That's fair. You stay in your corner. I'll stay over here.
Yeah. All right, moving to the next one here. The biggest sigh of relief of the year. We had 2 nominees for this. First one, I believe, is actually a name I came up with
Yeah.
while we were talking, but the trends on this, we were just like, oh man. Audio G. Good thing that name didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
That was a good relief because was it getting
so
close to
happy.
something like that.
It's like there were no rumors about that happening either. It's a thing that we made up, but it sounded so plausible given everything else in the industry that we just kind of scared ourselves.
Yeah.
So all very happy it did
Listener,
not happen.
If you don't know what we're referencing when it comes to Audiogy, that's a good thing because, again, it didn't happen. But it was Google's voice. I think it's called voice emoji. It's basically where you can send a sound emoji, what they call it. It's not an emoji.
While
it's
in
a sound
conversation.
over the phone during a phone call. It's not the worst feature they've come up with, but I'm still really glad that they didn't give it this name because that would have been so bad.
Yep.
So that was nominated right there. The next nomination, the 9th gen iPad and 1st gen pencil cancellation.
Yeah. Oh, thank heavens.
Those were around for far too long.
Yes. So we decided it's going to be, the winner is the 9th gen iPad and the 1st gen pencil cancellation. We decided it's that because that's an actual thing to where Audio G name actually didn't happen.
Yeah.
But still, it was a sigh of relief.
We just kind of made it up for ourselves, just kind of psyched ourselves out. So the thing that actually existed is the thing that wins. But yeah, no, it's, I'm still like, it was such a plausible suggestion that you just offhanded tossed out into the universe with no concern whether anybody who shouldn't hear that might hear it. Oh,
You're like, why did you say that?
such a terrible moment.
One day that the CEO is going to listen to our podcast,
Yeah,
download it, and be like, I'm going to listen to some random podcast. Wow, that is a great idea.
Oh, that just made me have more fear though, Wes, because
Do I just keep putting things out in the ether?
it does show that Google doesn't listen to our podcast because they didn't use it, but we already know that Apple does listen to our podcast. And they've
true.
heard this term. They haven't brought this feature yet, but when they do,
crap.
oh goodness.
Oh,
So
I'm really
basically, this is hopefully going to be on the biggest sigh of relief of the year for next year as well.
yep. We'll just keep it going until it happens. Is that what we're?
Well, no. Hopefully, it never happens. Hopefully, it continues to be a relief that Audiogy is not a feature on a major computing platform.
If Apple uses this name for something, Wes, you're officially fired.
Or
on the plus side, you could probably sue them for like trademark infringement.
Get some money, and then be like, just put our platform logo on everything, or our podcast logo on everything, or send it. I don't know.
Oh man.
But money does sound nice. I might go that way. But anyway, moving on.
Let's move on. Yes. All right. The next category is the biggest surprise of the year. We had 3 nominations in this category. The fact that Mike Ybarra left Blizzard like a matter of weeks after saying that he was in it for the long haul. The fact that we didn't get any flagship Android devices launching with Qi 2 for their wireless charging standard, despite the fact that it is just obviously better than Qi 1.
Yeah.
And the fact that Apple increased the base model RAM across the entire Mac lineup, including laptops that were otherwise not updated this year. And of those 3, the winner is the no Qi 2 on flagship Android devices, because that just seems like such a really brain dead simple way to add value for your customers. And yet none of them
right?
Not a single one put a ring of magnets in the back of their phone. It's not hard, guys.
No. And like it was announced, what was it, April of 2023 or something like that was the new standard. And they and like Apple, obviously they partnered with the Qi consortium group of people that, give us that standard to make it a thing. And it's obviously on the iPhone. It was on the iPhone 15s. Obviously it's on the iPhone 16s because that's this year's, but it wasn't on any. I slightly give it past to Samsung just because they launched their main phones in January. I still don't think they should get it past, but okay, we'll give them somewhat benefit of the doubt. But the fact that Google didn't do that on the Pixel 9 phones is just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, honestly, a lot of really good Android phones launched this year with a wireless charging standard that just could have been better.
Yeah.
Why? Nobody has a good reason.
Oh, just put a case on your phone that has the magnets, or put a sticker on there or something. No, please, Google.
You could just build it in, guys. It's not hard. Nobody's given us a good reason. So there you go. That was our biggest surprise because, like I said, it seemed like a really brain dead simple thing to do to increase the marketability of their phones, and nobody did it.
Yeah. All right. On to the next one, the Cyberpunk 2077 comeback of the year. We have 3 different nominations for this one. There is Sea of Thieves, Pixel phones for this year, and then Cities Skylines 2. Now, I can't give any sort of insight into Sea of Thieves or Cities Skylines 2 because that's, listener, I'm not the gamer here. But I will just go ahead and say that the winner of this one was the Pixel phones for this year. So all the Pixel 9 lineup of phones, not just any one in particular, all of them in general, because all of them got surprisingly better, like significantly better this year. I think the one that got the biggest upgrade from generation to generation was probably the Pixel Fold. I'm not saying the whole name because there's a reason it's on the worst name of the year list. But the Pixel Fold, going from the first generation to this generation, there was a massive leap in technology and just overall hardware. Like everything about it is so much better. And like like the platform itself, like the Pixel version of Android that Google put on these phones, got significantly better. And the fact that when they launched these phones, it actually included all of the AI stuff that they said was going to be there. I mean, Apple didn't do that. Still haven't fully done that. I mean, like we've talked about in previous episodes, not that everyone's going to use that AI stuff, but it's there if you want to, and it does do what they claim it's going to do. Maybe not as good as they would prefer it to do it, but it does work. So that's our Cyberpunk 2077 comeback of the year, the Pixel phones.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yes.
All right, next category, we have Best Cross-Platform Product of the Year. We have 4. First nominee, Pow World. Second, Retro Console Emulation.
Oh, yeah. I'm here for it.
Third, Sea of Thieves again. And number 4, Xbox. So we went through this. This one was actually probably our most debated.
It was.
On how this was, because 1, Pow World, big sensation. Now, first, reason why we said cross-platform, because it was first Xbox PC. Then it got to PlayStation on there. So then we were like, okay, that's good. I mean, it's huge. Pokemon with guns.
Yeah.
Who knows? I guess I don't want to say that too loud because I might get sued. Thank you, Nintendo.
That's true. Pocket monsters with guns.
Monsters with guns.
Yeah.
That you throw balls to catch it. Anyway, retro console emulation, because that's just, come on, it's awesome.
Listen, it's technically been pretty darn cross-platform for a very long time, but the fact of the matter is it's now on iOS.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Basically any device you can now do retro console emulation.
True.
Finally.
Sea of Thieves. 1 was because it did get over to PlayStation.
Yeah,
it's
launching on PlayStation.
A pretty big seller over there on PlayStation. Still pretty average for both Xbox and PC for keeping those numbers up. And also, we just said Xbox One. Well,
no, not the Xbox One. Xbox.
No.
Oh, sorry, I apologize.
Xbox.
The Xbox.
Listener, it's pretty simple. It's because I don't know if you realize this, but the device you're listening to us on right now is an Xbox, right? Your phone, it's actually an Xbox. You may not have realized this, but your computer is an Xbox too. You might not have known this, but your refrigerator and washing machine actually Xboxes. And listener, this is maybe going to come as a bit of a surprise. You're an Xbox. Like, it's this whole time you've been an Xbox. We are all of us Xbox.
That little AI chip that they've been trying to implant in people's brains. You could become an Xbox yourself. So, listener, we decided on this one. The Xbox gets the best cross-platform product of the year. More so because of the meme of their recent ads of everything being an Xbox. Just letting you know, everything is an Xbox. Your tablet's an Xbox. Your phone. Everything. And so, I mean, for memeing, I guess it's best cross-platform product of the year. So you can play Pow World on all your Xboxes. You can play Sea of Thieves on all your Xboxes.
There you go. Your PlayStation, actually an Xbox. You had no idea.
Your Steam
blew
Deck
your
is
mind.
Actually an Xbox.
And I mean, in addition to the meme, because yes, it is very funny to make fun of their advertising, the Xbox genuinely has been pushing to be cross-platform for many years.
Probably since we started this podcast.
Yeah. They released a bunch of games on PlayStation and Nintendo this year. That's not nothing. And just recently, it's actually rumored that Lenovo's next handheld gaming PC is going to have Steam OS on it. That they're going to announce at CES. Supposedly, it's going to have Steam OS on it because the guy who's like the head designer for the Steam Deck is featured in Lenovo's announcement as being at their booth for this event, but so's a dude from Xbox, which is interesting. Why would an Xbox dude be at a handheld game console event alongside a guy from Valve to talk about Steam OS? Maybe Xbox is going to be rolling out support for like the Game Pass app on Steam OS.
Who knows?
And if that turns out to be true, then they may get the cross-platform product of the year for next year as well. Like, honestly. So, no, Xbox been doing a lot of good work in this area, including this year, but also you're an Xbox. I'm an Xbox.
He, she, Xbox.
Yeah.
Kind of like that song from Good Burger. He's a dude. He's an Xbox. She's an Xbox. You know.
Oh my gosh! You know what?
Oh,
I really
wow.
want to play that song, and I want to change those words. I'm gonna figure out how.
No.
I should get AI to do. Well,
No,
no, they can't do license stuff. Sounds like I need to get a hold of Less Than Jake. Hey, excuse me. Just
I need
throwing
you-
this out there.
Need you to re-record this song.
Can I do a cover? Like you could have all the money from. I just want to do a cover song. I want to pull a Weird Al if I could, please.
Oh, man.
All right, moving on.
All right, listener, now it is time. We're getting to like the serious actual pants awards here. The phone of the year for 2024. The nominees are the Moto Razr. Not necessarily the Razr Plus, but like the Razr Plus is also good. But the Moto Razr for 2024. The Pixel 9 lineup. The iPhone 16, not the Pro, and the Red Magic 10 Pro. These nominees were chosen because, as we've already discussed, the Pixel 9 was, okay, actually, like, nice improvement over the past several years of Pixel.
Yep.
The iPhone 16 is here mostly because it wasn't a gigantic disappointment, which that's also a huge improvement for iPhones over the past few years.
Yep. That's huge.
It's not a huge disappointment. The Moto Razr is here because decent specs, not outstanding specs, but decent specs, okay mid-range specs, and a folding form factor, and like just so much brand nostalgia on top of currently costing, what was it, $600?
It was $699 at launch.
It was $699 at launch. It's currently, from Motorola's website, $599.
Yeah.
So the Moto Razr, great price for a really nice feature set. But our winner for this year is the Red Magic 10 Pro because, again, the price. It's $600, but this is a full-on flagship.
Yeah.
High refresh rate screen, bunch of RAM, tons of storage, nice camera sensors, whether or not their software, lives up to the camera sensors they put in the phone, maybe a different story. But the sensors themselves are good quality sensors. And this was the first phone to ship with the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, right?
Yeah.
That I got that's the chip that was in there.
Yeah.
So that's like the newest, best processor in Android land. And they're the first ones to ship with it. It's full-on flagship specs for what would have been a normal flagship price, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago, but is not a normal flagship price now. Flagships now start at $800 and go way the heck up from there.
Yeah.
And here's the Red Magic 10 Pro sitting at $600, comfortably walking all over the vast majority of them. So that's why it gets our phone of the year.
Yes. All right.
That's good.
The next one is the Tech of the Year. And we have nominated here the new M4 Mac Mini, the Intel Arc B580 GPU, and the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. Now, I do believe all of these have legitimate arguments for winning this year because the Snapdragon 8 Elite, we still haven't fully got it tested. I mean, yes, the Red Magic has that chip in it, but it's not going to be the best phone to really test it in because not very many people are going to buy that phone, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you want more data points than just the one phone. you
Yeah.
know?
We're really going to find out what that chip can do in January when the new Samsung phones come out, because it's going to have that chip, and those are going to be very heavily reviewed and widely used. The Intel Arc B580 has lived up to what they said it would do, more or less.
One of the rare cases of a company announcing a product that looks good, and then the product actually launches and it's better than it looked when they announced it.
Yeah.
Like pretty much across the board, everyone agrees the B580 is not going to replace, like, it's not a high-end GPU, but at $250, this thing is an outstanding value for 1080p gaming or even 1440p gaming. And Intel has absolutely killed NVIDIA and AMD's offerings at that price point. So,
yeah,
fantastic job, Intel.
Yes.
Yep.
But our winner for Tech of the Year goes to the Mac Mini, and there are a lot of reasons for this. Not only is it the M4 processor that just seems to be absolutely kicking the crap out of even previous M series chips from Apple, but obviously anything you can get from Intel in the same price range and what they're what they're trying to offer for it. But also the hardware of the Mac Mini is great because, like Caleb said, they put 16 gigs of RAM as the base RAM spec for all the Mac lineup this year. That includes the new Mac Mini. The fact that they shrunk it down to a 5x5x2 box is absolutely fantastic, and kept a cooling system inside of there as well to make the M4 chip even better, and put I/O on the front of the Mac Mini and extra stuff on the, like, they didn't take anything away from the previous generation Mac Mini. They just added to it and made it smaller and better. So that's why the new Mac Mini is our Tech of the Year.
Yep. When you come right down to it, there's really no arguing with the fact that for the starting price at the base model of the Mac Mini of $600, you literally cannot buy or build a computer that is faster.
Yeah.
For the same money. You just can't. And that is noteworthy.
Agreed. Okay. We're going to move next to the game of the year. So there's been a lot of games that were really good this year. So we narrowed it down to 4. Helldivers is the first one. Because, well, I mean, it hit, and it hit hard. Really good. Like, still a good game. The only reason certain things happened to it was actually not because of developers or
because
like the
Sony.
Developers at all or anything. It was because of Sony and they're taking away from countries that.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so
but
we're not going to hold that against them.
Yeah. Regardless of that, Helldivers did manage to prove that live service games can be fun and rewarding, which is kind of rare.
True. And moving on to the second one, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. That one is also a really good one. We like so much fun. I've played this one myself. I think Caleb, he said he didn't play it, but
No.
playing it I actually watched a lot of people play it before I bought it, and it is absolutely amazing.
Looks outstanding, I gotta be honest.
It looks great.
So
it feels great. It plays great, and the rewards, just a good game. And next one, Balatro.
Yeah.
So I haven't played this one. I've heard nothing but just wonderful things and stuff people have said. Caleb has played this one.
I've played it. It's like video game crack. It's so good. So good.
It's awesome. And the fourth one, Shadow of the Erd Tree. This one in itself. So at first I wasn't so sure about this one, but Caleb kind of convinced me.
It is technically a DLC, yes, I will grant you, but we're not putting it on here just because the Game Awards says that you can nominate DLCs for video games.
No.
From the amount of gameplay involved, the amount of changes that it introduced into Elden Ring, and the fact that there is an entire new storyline and stuff like that are all added to a complete base game, right? This is not finishing Elden Ring. This is adding to a completely finished game, essentially an entire second completely finished game. And they charged you for it, right? It's basically the cost of buying the game again, but you're getting essentially a sequel to Elden Ring, or not necessarily a sequel, but a companion to Elden Ring. It's a full game. It's a full game, so it deserves to be included.
Which, listener, the reason why we picked these four, one of the big reasons why is, hey, all of these show that you don't need AAA, full-on, studio AAA games, this money and all this stuff. Like, these are game changers to show you can have fun and not just nickel and dime people.
Oh yeah,
like
like you look at Helldivers. It's live service, AA type stuff, but they managed to, because the developers were making a game that they wanted to play, despite the fact that it's live service, it's still fun. Yep. Space Marine 2, it's a AA game, right? That's not really a AAA game. They didn't have AAA money, and yet they just focused on making a tight experience that they wanted to play, and it's great. Shadow of the Erdtree, yeah, that is AAA, but it's a DLC. It's an expansion to a game. And here's FromSoft over here going, you know what, guys? Just because it's an expansion doesn't mean that we can't make it just the coolest thing ever. Right. And then there's Balatro, which is one dude made a game that is so good that it kind of took over the entire first half of this year.
It did. And it kept getting out. At first, it was on certain platforms, and then just expanded to all the other platforms, and it's just everywhere. And because of those reasons, Balatro's actually our game of the year. Because of that, all these others, not to say that they're anything less, these all made a huge splash. In positivity for the gaming industry, for games. Oh man, so we did give it to Balatro though, because I think the deciding factor was how many platforms is it
the
on?
Number of platforms. We're literally over here calling all platforms, and Balatro is on PC, it's on Nintendo Switch, it's on Xbox One and Series X and S, it's on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, as well as iOS and Android. So, I mean, that's all the platforms, guys. They just need to launch it for. Okay, you know what? I was about to say Linux, but actually, it's on Steam. Does it run on Linux? Probably. It probably runs on Linux too.
Yep, there you go. So that's why we gave it to Balatro. So,
good stuff. All right, listener. Now we're getting to maybe the two most important categories of the year. We're going to start with Doom of the year. Now, we normally have a lot more Doom stuff happening over the course of a year, but I'm 100% going to blame this on the rise of all the generative AI nonsense and associated crap in the tech industry. We have not had nearly as much good Doom stuff this year as we normally do, but we did have a couple of things that absolutely deserve to be nominated for this category. The first was Doom on a lawnmower, in which I believe it was Husqvarna, if I throw my mind back to the beginning of the year, announced that their lineup of robot lawnmowers you were going to be able to play Doom on them via an over-the-air update for a limited amount of time using the controls and the screen on the lawnmower itself. And I just love that.
That's amazing. Ugh.
And the second, Doom on Alarmo, on the Nintendo alarm clock, which, like I said when we talked about this, I was upset with myself for not realizing would be running Doom. so fast, so quickly after release. It literally was like a week after launch. A guy was running Doom on an Alarmo and playing it with the controls on the actual alarm clock itself. So simply because of how quickly that happened and the fact that it wasn't a I don't know, a corporate tie-in from the makers of the device. It was like good old-fashioned Doom modder hacking stuff going on. We're going to give this one to Doom on Alarmo, and more power to that guy. We hope to see him again next year.
He's got to hold that title.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, listener. And now we are to our final award of the year.
Yahoo!
And it is the One More Thing of the year. Of course, I have to play the One More Thing sound for that, Wes, because
It's
you
important.
didn't listen to the last episode like you told me before the podcast. That is now the One More Thing sound, because
of
course it is.
Of course it is. This
That-
is great.
also,
I
I'm just
can't
gonna-
wait to hear that every time. This is great.
I'm just going to throw a new category out there. Soundboard Sound of the Year. That one, for sure. All right. We do have a pretty extensive list here for One More Thing of the Year. I'm just going to go through these really quick. The fake Apple Watch Ultra on a game controller being used as the console. That was fun.
Yeah.
Flappy Bird is back. And then the very next week, don't download Flappy Bird. The Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo, because that. Oh, why didn't we put that name? Oh, anyways, that's the name of it. Nintendo Music, LG's stretchable display, the Casio watch ring, and then the chocolate milk machine. And there's a few of these that had some legitimate arguments as to why they could be the One More Thing of the year. The Nintendo Music one, obviously, I mean, that's just kind of obvious, you know. Everyone loves music from Nintendo games, and the fact that it's there for you to listen to on both iOS or Android is absolutely fantastic. And they're not charging anything more for it as long as you are already a Nintendo Online subscriber, which is perfectly fine. There's a decent amount of those people out there. And those are also the people that would, you know, want this app.
Yes. Yeah, that's very true.
The Flappy Bird and then the don't download Flappy Bird is there mostly because of the fact that it was really exciting at launch when it initially was talked about, and then literally the next week we're like, never mind, don't do that. This is a bad idea. That's why they're there. But the winner, I think, has to be pretty obvious. At least it was to us three. Is the chocolate milk machine. We talked about it on the last episode. If by some weird reason you haven't listened to that, go back to that episode, listen to that, go watch the YouTube video describing this chocolate milk machine. It's fantastic. It's someone that actually listens to the podcast that for some weird reason took our advice and built something we asked for. And it was a chocolate milk machine that can be triggered by the quick button on a Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra. Oh my gosh, the naming.
It's so bad. It's so bad. We didn't even have all the bad names nominated, I promise.
But yes, the chocolate milk machine is the One More Thing of the year.
And that's why we decided, well, let's be real. Caleb decided because he said he will redeem the quick button worst tech name of the year. That's why that was crossed off, was because someone actually did this, put it on YouTube, linked it to us, and did everything he said. So Caleb had to take it back.
Yep. And made it so that you can, in fact, call that the Nesquik button. And in that case, yeah. All right.
And that's why that gets the One More Thing of the year.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that comes to a close this episode. It was fun to do this. And by golly, we're going to do it again next year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because you know what? Let's be real. A lot of these, like worst tech name of the year, it's going to happen. Like,
Oh, yeah. We're going to start filling that thing in literally January 1st. So.
like literally,
I
it's
can't
going to
wait.
happen.
Can't wait for CES.
Yep.
We'll have like 5 or 6 probably right there.
Yeah.
So we will have it. Well, listener, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you listening. If you want to get a hold of us or have anything you want to talk to us about or have suggestions for our awards, our Calling All Platforms awards, you can get a hold of us on our social media platforms as well as callingallplatforms.com. If you want to check out our YouTube channel, you can. There may be an update. I don't know when, but there could be an update sometime.
It's
if
not
I continue,
impossible.
But if I continue to be the squeaky wheel, there might be an update. And listener, you can too. You can be the squeaky wheel that makes this happen. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe or get on the Patreon, do that, or just send a message to Caleb. Just say, hey, dude, we need some more. And guess what? That might work. That might happen. We need your help. At least I need your help. All Landon's doing is just sitting there laughing at me.
I'm just
Anyway,
that lazy.
all right, listener, have a good week and a Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.